Guys, so we're gonna do this first, guys. So check this out. So Richard says, Trev, I came out with a dog food. So Richard, walk them through.
So look, here's what prompted this. People wanted to convert and do the raw from kibble from raw, but not everybody is comfortable dealing with the blood aspect of it. Mm-hmm. So we have, which is freeze dry. Freeze dry, it almost looks like a kibble type form, but it's raw dog food going through a freeze-dry state, so you don't lose the nutritional value of the actual meat, and it's not over-processed like kibble is. So you take this, moisturize it, you can use water, chicken broth, and some people even use it as treats for the dog when training. That's what I use them for a lot, because I don't want to feed my dog the junk-ass treats. So we have it in our heritage blend, which is an 80-10-10 blend, 80% protein, 10% secreting organs, and 10% bone. And we also have it as liver treats. 3-pound bag, 14-ounce bags, so you have options. And this is something, like I said, for people that don't want to touch blood, or if you're traveling. When I travel with the dogs for dog shows and dog events, I take the freeze dry because it's easier for me to handle and manage, and not have to worry about having to freeze and how I'm gonna keep the food cold and fresh and healthy for the dogs.
Now, Richard, what the thing is, let's make sure we highlight this a little bit more too, because when he got me a bag of this, he said, Trev, man, I'm sitting, and he says, man, what the hell am I supposed to do with all these treats? But I thought about it. These are your dog's vitamins and minerals.
Yes.
Well, vitamins, not so much the minerals,
vitamins.
But vitamins A, D, E, and K often live in the liver as they are sink, right? So I said to myself, God, that makes sense, because I hate the smell of liver. Now, I touch blood. You see in the videos, I got the gloves on and stuff. But that liver, those kidneys, for one, they have a 2-day shelf life. After about 2 days, even if unthawed, they start turning gray. And nobody wants no funky gray liver.
No.
You don't even want to feed it to your dogs. And if it does go real bad, the dogs will poop black, which also ain't fun. So I said, man, this is conducive, because even if you are feeding dog food, you can add this as a topper to your dog food and enrich your dog's quality of life, man.
Yep.
Now, how long did it take for this to come to life? Be it you thought people was going to touch blood forever.
You know, I've been doing the raw dog food now for 4 years.
Woo!
To 5, and this just launched I think 90 days ago. So it's still very brand new product. A lot of people don't know about it. People didn't know freeze dry existed. People like, what is freeze dry?
Can you talk a little bit about the market then and what's going on? Because as I've told people, like when you go to your pet stores, people, you see those kind of refrigerators. I said, look at the landscape and real estate inside of Petco's, PetSmarts.
Let me tell you something, Trev.
It's coming.
And this is the fastest growing segment in the raw dog food industry.
Well, just the dog food space in general, though, right?
Yeah. Raw dog food is exploding because the education is there now. The facts is there. A vet can't honestly say kibble is better than raw, but some still say it because they get kicks back. But the facts are there for you to read, to learn, to educate yourself. But in the raw food segment, the freeze dry is skyrocketing because it's a convenience thing while you're still feeding your dog a healthy diet.
And how would you define health if you had to give health a definition, man? Because I think even for us humans, right?
Easy. Optimal performance of the animal. Like, you're giving the dog the proper things to be at his optimal physical, mental, and emotional state to be at their best. And that's what feeding a raw diet is going to do for your dog.
So what are some questions for those that don't understand it? Because now, mind you, there's a lot of people who have dogs that they're not pushing, which is fine. What are some questions that they should ask themselves if they're considering transitioning the dog or potentially using raw as an option? I know the first question I would ask is, how many times do you go to the vet for an issue, right?
Yes.
And that gets expensive over a course of time.
Absolutely. And that's something that you all, like, my dogs don't get sick.
Hey.
My dogs don't I don't have vet bills.
That part.
I honestly don't. Like, if a dog got sick, I'm going to be completely clueless because it doesn't. I'm talking about and I've been doing this for 4 years. I haven't had a dog sick in 4 years at all. So that's one of the first things that I noticed, on top of less stool.
And he has 17 dogs?
17 dogs.
So we're not just talking about one, we're talking 17 dogs.
Teeth are cleaner. Like, the dog's energy levels are up. Like, it was drastic for me. Yeah. But like I said, the first thing that I honestly noticed in day 2 was the less amount of stool that we talked about in another video.
Yep.
Where I took the dog to the vet because I thought it was constipated. And my ignorance, like, I read it, but to actually physically see it and witness it happening, it was mind blowing to me. Like, it's drastic.
Yeah.
So
And keep in mind, even to, we'll just say compliment what he's saying, because that's what it is. When you look at food and its weight in which it's utilized, you saw less stool.
Mm-hmm.
If I eat pasta or bread, my shits get fatter. And if I eat protein, especially like clean fishes, you have little baby shits.
Yeah.
So, same thing with the dog who has no carb requirements. When you get a dog food and it has 30% moisture, this percent whatever, and 12% protein, you go, no wonder they're shitting it out. The body doesn't need it. It's creating inflammation.
Correct, man.
It can't absorb and utilize. And be mindful of this. Every protein has a biological value based on what you're going to absorb and utilize. And even in this, base of this was beef, right?
Yes, that's beef.
Beef stills in the 80s. Depending on the quality of beef, can get to the 90s in terms of absorption and utilization. Then it gets tricky if you have absorption issues.
Correct.
But that's a whole nother thing, because then you just go back and get the raw food he has, use fish or use bison or venison. So just food for thought, people. Utilization of the food comes with spending time with your dog. I tell people feeding time is a good time because you get to watch your dogs basically grow.
Mm-hmm.
And collectively together, man, anything else they should know, or what are some things that they should know?
It's not a hard trend. Like a lot of people, I get a lot of people nervous and scared to make the transition from kibble to raw, because that's all they've ever known is kibble. It's an easy transition. I tell you, it's no different than you reading the back of a bag of kibble and you know how many cups of food to give your dog than it is just feeding raw. It's just as simple. It's no monster. It's no aha. There's no gotcha moment.
You know what's crazy though?
And you feed the dog one time a day. Depending on the age of the dog. Once. You don't have to feed the dog 2-3 times a day.
But just like you said, Richard, how many people actually read the nutrition? I mean, they do now more.
Yeah.
But like, you're a fit guy. You understand the importance of fitness. You're mindful of what you ingest and digest
Correct.
and process.
You have to be.
Guys, you got to learn how to read labels, and that might be another thing. Here's some food for thought. This is a good label. I tell people, they say, hey, Trevor, what do you think about that? I said, what I love is when I go look at the ingredients, it says beef muscle, beef unwashed fatty tripe, beef bone, beef liver, beef kidney, beef spleen, and beef heart. You said, damn, that's it?
That's it.
You be like, oh.
And then you're going to read the back of a bag of kibble?
Man, there's 72 ingredients on that book.
Yeah, good luck.
I said, now that's...
Think about that.
That's beautiful, right? There's 72 ingredients on the back of a kibble, and this says ingredient, beef liver. You go, damn, only one thing? Oh, that's beautiful. Y'all don't understand the power of literally reading the label and then...
And understanding it.
Oh, man. And mind you, I've said this before. Guys, keep commenting below. I'm going to do a better job of addressing things in video form on the page. But I'm telling you right now, if you've struggled or had a challenge with feeding raw, he now has a heritage blend that's out. And to be clear, we want all dogs to live well.
Yep.
As long as you can read the back of the label, go to your local pet store and get food that betters your dog's quality of life.
Correct.
And you want minimal ingredients. You need to learn about the salt rule and all this other stuff that exists. And mind you, I'll be doing content around it. But point is, raw feeding, it ain't that hard. If you don't like blood, get the heritage blend. If you have a dog and he's got various issues, you'd be surprised with vitamins, aka A, D, E, and K. Look what they say, apple a day keep the doctor away.
Yeah.
Vitamin A is a super important nutrient. Vitamin E is one of the best nutrients in terms of vitamins that you could add to your dog's quality of life, and yours too. So that's why I always say add something green, and it just so happened this comes in a green bag. I said, look at that,
funny.
man. I'm like, look at that green bag. Funny. So stay tuned. Take care of your dogs. Richard, anything else you want them to know?
Hey, shop online, ifeedraw.com. Save 10% when you are a subscriber.
Is there anywhere that you don't ship?
Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side. Guys, take care of your dogs.